Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Read something recently in the Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn that I wanted to pass along to you. We'll call it the end of the scroll. So the teacher and the student are in the chamber of the scrolls. You know, we're used to reading books, and I really like books over electronic stuff because I mark things and that. And also, like just reading something, like I can read the Bible on my phone, but I like to see it in context. But a scroll is even richer because you can just really see like where you're at in the whole thing. Well, there's a scroll on the table. It was the scroll of the Torah, and it rolled out to the end. And then the teacher said, "Do you remember what I told you about the most mysterious day of the Hebrew year? It's called Shemini Atzeret, the gathering of the 8th day." And the student said, "Yes, the last day of the sacred year, the day after the end." So it's the 8th day. The day after represents the beginning of eternity. And the teacher said, "Yes, and do you know what is done on that day?" And so he tells him, "The Torah scroll, which has been continually unrolled and read on every Sabbath of the year, comes to its end. Then begins the sacred rolling back of all that has been unrolled throughout the year." So it's all unrolled, but and you could see kind of like, it's just talk about context. It's great. You're looking at everything there. He says it's a fascinating thing. And when you read the prophecies concerning the end of the ages, you find that the image of the scroll and the act of rolling it up. In Isaiah, we find in Isaiah chapter 34, verse 4, "The heavens shall be rolled up like a scroll." See, we read that and we don't think much of a scroll, but they knew all about scrolls. And it's amazing to think of the sky, the heavens, rolling up like a scroll. In the book of Revelation, the same imagery reappears. The sky departed as a scroll when it rolled up. And then at the end of Revelation, concerning the end of the present order, it is written that before eternity, earth and heaven fled away. Earth and heaven both depart. The old creation is gone. The scroll is finished. The story is ended. And the day after the end, Shemini Atzeret, the 8th day, the day of forever, begins. And the teacher paused. He looked down at the scroll. And he said, "Do you know what is read at the end of the scroll before it's rolled up?" And it doesn't take too much to figure out if it's the Torah. It would be Deuteronomy chapter 34. The student wasn't aware of that, but all you got to do is look at a Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. The last words written on the scroll are about the journey's end. The Israelites have wandered in the wilderness. Haven't we wandered in the wilderness? Haven't we been like searching for that permanent home? And yes, you can say that we found the promised land with Jesus, but friends, whatever you've got, it gets better. There is something that's better. Someday we'll be in the real promised land. But it ends with Moses going up the mountain and catching his first glimpse of the promised land. Others had spied it out. Moses had not. Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb, they had seen it. And so he gets his first glimpse of the promised land. And he's about to leave his earthly existence to be with God. The Israelites finished their time in the wilderness, in the desert. And so this day, it speaks of when our journeying through the wilderness will come to an end. Someday, you'll no longer be in the wilderness. Someday. It tells us that we must always leave the old before we can enter the new. That this world eventually will pass away, and reminds us that this life is not the destination, but the journey to the destination. So you live your life in every moment of your life in light of that, in light of the end, in light of the day, when the old will flee away, and your first glimpse of that which you've only dreamed at the end of the scroll. Moses got to view the promised land. And a lot of times people say it's not fair, he didn't, but he did get there. Moses is there now. Moses got to stand on the Mount of Transfiguration with Jesus. Friend, your journey, it may be a really difficult one today. Maybe you're really dealing with temptation, with tribulation, whatever it is. But this time in the wilderness will come to an end. And this life will roll up like a scroll. And then you'll enter into the promised land forever. God bless you. Have a great week.